Hello, coaster lovers. So, a popular continent for roller coasters is Europe. This continent has one of the best amusement parks in the world. From Fantasyland to Disneyland Paris, there's a park for you in the continent. But in this video, I want to focus on one park, and that park is Parc Asterix. This park opened to guests in April of 1989 in North France near the Charles de Gaulle Airport. It is themed to the French comic series Asterix. As of November of 2023, the park has 8 different roller coasters, and these are all of them ranked from worst to best. So before we start, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and smash the bell so you don't miss out on every time we upload. So coming up in last place is Vol de Care, a Zero Hornet. This opened up in 1994, and this is one of 2 Hornets ever made, the other one being Hornet at Flambird's Village Amusement Park in the UK, and this coaster isn't that good. The layout is not that good either. It's just a lot of helixes and some slanted brake runs, which is kinda strange, and watch out for that one harsh brake run when it slams to a stop. It does not look pleasant at all. So this is an easy call for last place. A coaster that people find worst is Xtremerides. This opened up with the park in 1989, and it's a custom Vekoma MK1200, and why I give the edge to this coaster is because it's way more picturesque, and there's even animals in the restricted area, which is absolutely unheard of. That'll never work out in America. Another reason why I'll take this over Vol de Care is the operations. Parc Asterix operations as a whole are fantastic, and they're always pumping those trains out at a quick pace, and Xtremerides operations are fantastic too, but for the ride itself, it's pretty bad. If you've ever ridden Blue Hawk at Over Georgia, it's a French version of that ride, and I'll easily take Blue Hawk over Xtremerides. It's because Blue Hawk has vests, but Xtremerides does not. It has the hard over-the-shoulder restraints, and it's just the perfect restraint for headbanging. The transitions and profiling are awful too. Just look at the butterfly, it looks terrible. But I'm going to stop ranting about this ride. Coming up at number 6 is another Zero coaster. It's S-West Numerobis. This is a medium Zero Tivoli, so like Timber Twister or Guillory Gardens but without the insane foliage, but this coaster is alright. You have a short and basic layout with a huge helix and an S-hill and turn. The train does look cool though, but there's not much to this ride besides the stuff I just said. And now we're in the top 5. I know, shocker. We have La Traza de Hura, a mock bobsled. This is easily the biggest one out of all of them. And this is honestly, in my opinion, underrated. It has some great theming throughout the end of the ride with the rockwork, and it looks amazing. A problem that I have with these bobsled coasters is that the layout isn't that great, and Hura is no different. But the theming in the second half makes the ride better than the other bobsleds. This coaster overall looks like a fun time. Another coaster that you have a fun time with is Pegassi Express, a Gerstlauer family coaster. This is one of 12 Gerstlauer family coasters, soon to be 13 because there is one opening up at another park in France that I cannot pronounce. If you have ridden Fire Chaser at Dollywood, which I have, it's very similar. You know Fire Chaser's layout uses the terrain to its advantage? Well, Pegassi doesn't. It has a long sprawling layout with a lot of S-hills and turns. And it even has a backwards section halfway throughout the ride. By the way, that face gives me nightmares, just look at it. But anyways, this looks like a great family coaster. It looks smooth and the theming is great as well. I love the Greek facade at the entrance, and the ride looks pretty over the water. I like the color scheme too, it really blends into the sky. Another ride that blends into the sky, but not really, is the intense invert Osiris. This is one of the best B&M inverts. If you want a comparison, easily Montu. This is basically a mini Montu, because you have transits throughout the ride with intense and snappy inversions, like the vertical leap for example, that has some whip. The first drop there reminds me of Banshee's drop, and I've done Banshee, and that drop is incredible. And I'm expecting the same for Osiris, because there is no pre-drop like on most of the other inverts. I've heard that it has a little airtime down it, which is absolutely unheard of a B&M invert. The theming that Parc Asterix does is incredible, and Osiris is no stranger. The theming is amazing, and I love the water effect on the valley before the Zero G roll. A ride that does not have any water effects but still is an incredible ride is Tener 2 Zeus, a CCI/Gravity Group Woody. This roller coaster is one of the best CCIs out there, because you have a really good layout with some amazing airtime hills and lateral filled helixes. The retract that the Gravity Group did just made the experience even better. They added a wave turn in the middle of the layout and a backwards facing row on each train, and that just adds to the chaos. Experiencing that first drop backwards is a thrill like no other. And I know there's Leviathan down at SeaWorld on the Gold Coast, but this is the original. The ride looks pretty smooth too. Yeah, there's a little jackhammering here and there, but most of the ride that I've heard runs like a dream. So a round of applause to the Parc Asterix maintenance crew. You guys are killing it. Another coaster that runs like a dream is none other than Toutatis, an Intamin LSM multi-launch coaster. This coaster opened up this year in 2023, and wow, this coaster is a marvel. If you have ridden Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, this is the French version of that ride, but it's with a stall instead of a zero-G roll. Then you have two back-to-back airtime hills banked on each side while delivering good airtime, then an incredible swing triple launch. The second one leads to a spike, which offers a floating sensation like no other. Then after that is an incredible top hat with some airtime. I do prefer the top hat of Pantheon over Toutatis because on Toutatis there is a trim that saps the adrenaline, which kinda sucks. Then everything else on the layout is great with the stall, airtime hill, wave turn, and its final inversion. This is easily the best roller coaster at Parc Asterix. So I want to hear from you guys. Have you visited Parc Asterix? And what's your favorite coaster there? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. You can tune in next Saturday at noon in Eastern Time for our next video. And sometimes once in a while, we upload a bonus video. So if you made it to the end, you're a king or a queen. And make sure to keep that adrenaline pumping. And I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving.